put out a plan to break up tech companies like Facebook, Amazon, and Google. You've said we should not, quote, be running around pointing at companies and breaking them up without any kind of process. Why do you disagree?
Look, you're asking about breaking up corporations, and I completely disagree. But I also disagree with monopolies. But think about this. You just mentioned Facebook and Twitter. That's not a monopoly. These are two separate companies that are actually competing with each other. This proves that they're already divided because the government hasn't intervened. There are thousands of other social networks that are out there available for people to use. There's nobody putting a gun to my head forcing me to use Facebook. But they have a lot of people. So that's why I advertise my campaign on Facebook. But I also do it on Twitter. I also do it on Instagram. I also do it on YouTube. All these other social media networks that allow me to promote my content, I'm there. These aren't monopolies that need to be broken up. Do a lot of them have issues? Yes, absolutely. Are they issues that can be solved? Yes. Should they be solved by the government coming in and saying, oh, we know how to run a tech business better than you do? No, absolutely not, because the government doesn't know how to do that. The only way for this to work is to allow other organizations to create their own social media platforms and allow them to compete. If you want to talk about monopolies, let's talk about a really big monopoly that's screwing people over. Let's talk about the monopoly that's restricting people from getting access to the healthcare that they need to stay alive. That monopoly is the FDA. That monopoly is the government. Imagine this. There's a drug that I need to save my life and I can't afford it because there's only one company who can produce it and they can put as high a price tag on it as they want. What can I do? Now, the FDA says we're the only people who are allowed to approve this. There might be another company that's offering a generic or some other alternative to this drug, and I might be able to afford that, and that drug might be sold in another country. But guess what? The FDA says you're not allowed to bring that from the other country into this country and have it. The FDA is creating a monopoly that's making it unaffordable for people to access healthcare. The FDA is arguably one of the biggest monopolies out there that's hurting people the most, and nobody ever talks about breaking it up. But here's the thing, again, you don't break it up by regulation. It is regulation. The reason the monopoly is there is regulation. If you want to break up that monopoly, don't create more regulations. You can't create regulations to fix regulations. Get rid of the regulations that restrict my right to purchase whatever drugs I want for my own healing, no matter who manufactured them and no matter who approved them for use, whether it's a foreign government or a private corporation. It has worked in the past. It works with our electronics. It works with consumer ratings. It works with automobiles. It works with everything else. Why do we allow the government to have a monopoly? And I say they're the worst kind because think about it. If I create another organization that's just like Facebook, if I want to create a platform to compete with Facebook, is Facebook going to send a SWAT team to my new office and say, hey, you're not allowed to create this? No. But if I created an organization to compete with the FDA, guess who's going to be knocking on my door with a SWAT team? It's going to be the government. Government is the worst type of monopoly. It is violent and it is criminal, and that is the organization, that is the monopoly that needs to be broken up the most.